Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Better Opinion. I am once again your host, Kevin. It has been quite some time, but I am once again joined by my co-host, Mansur. Mansur, you've lost weight. I've absorbed it.
Yeah, you're just stealing my mass.
I am.
It's like you're like a vampire.
I'm like a mass vampire. Like I'm increasing my gravitational pull.
I mean, it is October, so good, perfect time for it. Anyway, I had a topic.
Yeah,
I won't
it's
let you.
your top-
I won't let you. No more talking.
Okay. All right. No more talking. Won't be me. No, it's all about you.
Yeah, it's about me right now. Okay,
Yeah.
you took my mass. My turn to talk.
Okay. You got it.
These days,
Can I
modern.
get some of that mass?
No,
Yeah, Mike, I can share some of Mansur's mass with you.
stop sharing my mass. Listen, I can kind of accept that it's you, but not the cuck chair guy. Okay?
That's true. The camera guy is kind of the cuck chair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we're involved and he's just watching.
He likes it.
Yeah, he likes it. Yeah, he kind of looks like he likes it.
Can I come out of the cage?
No.
No.
Anyway, your topic.
My topic is modern games suck. No one's surprised about this.
Nobody's surprised about this. Everybody's like, "Wow, okay, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Show's over."
yeah. Anyway, the reason why I say this is because I've been kind of going back playing emulators. I've been using my Steam Deck. Surprising, I know. I've been trying to find the reason why I love games. And in doing that, I've found some weird, obscure old games. I mentioned to you before Kodelka.
Yeah, I have no clue what that is, but you did talk about it.
Yeah, Kodelka's this. You know what? Let me continue the topic before I sidetrack. I've been trying new games because even it feels like some remakes are shitting the bed.
They're shitting. The games are shitting. It's just a game about shitting.
Yeah, because have you heard of Plants vs. Zombies?
Sure.
They made a remake, and somehow Plants vs. Zombies is not a very complicated game. It's tower defense. You put a plant down, zombies come, they shoot at the zombies. Somehow they fucked that up. Let me tell you how they fucked that up, because one of the best parts about Plants vs. Zombies is the soundtrack, and the soundtrack changes as the level goes on. Somehow that does not happen.
Soundtrack really just fucking it makes a game, man. I made a video a long time ago just gushing about music in some games that I like, and it's just it makes such a difference.
Yeah,
and if that gets ruined, oof.
And honestly, one of the most iconic parts of Plants vs. Zombies is the soundtrack. If you haven't heard of it, give it a try. I honestly try the original Plants vs. Zombies. It's still a fun game by PopCap before EA came in. Turned the second one into a mobile game and add microtransactions.
Okay, listen, I'm going to say something that no one's surprised by. This is not a hot take. Everybody knows it. But I think one of the worst things that has happened on the planet is that corporations have gotten too big. And I don't even mean that in sort of like a political way. I mean that products are just bad because companies are too big. They're the soul of what's being created. And I don't mean soul in some sort of philosophical way. I really mean like the core thing that makes something interesting and good is that pure desire to create something, that vision that comes from a single person or small group of people who have a clear, cohesive idea of what they want to make and a passion for making it. Whether that's a video game or a product, If you've ever watched that fucking Shark Tank, which is stupid and I hate it, but if you've ever watched any of it, the people who have the most success are people who have a clear idea. They see a problem that needs solving, right? Now, that problem may not be critical. It may not be a big deal, but it's a thing that needs a specific answer to a specific question. And they always do really well when they're able to answer that question. They're able to solve that problem. Because the niche exists and it needs a solution. The problem with big companies is they're not interested in solving niche problems with niche solutions. They are interested in market saturation. To achieve market saturation, that means mediocrity is the game. You want you want to just focus on minor details like addictiveness or whatever, and then you want to put it to as many eyes as possible. And that, someone could say, well, yeah, of course you'd want that to make a lot of money. Individuals are perfectly happy with $1 million, right? If you as an individual invent the, I don't know, dirt fucker, it fucks the dirt off your table without you.
I could do that.
I could-
What? I was like, I would enjoy that. Why are you taking my job, dirt fucker?
No, but like if someone makes that product, right, and they do it on themselves or just like them and a couple friends, and then they make $10 million, they're good,
Yeah.
right? They're happy, and maybe they'll sell it for the company for another $15 million, and they'll split it amongst them, and they'll be good for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But a corporation, they're not happy unless a product makes $1 billion because they're so bloated and they're pumping so much money into their executives and their head count and everything that $1 billion only gets maybe $50 million in profit. They have really bad margins, and they have really bad margins because they're just too big. So the soul, the non-philosophical creative soul of a good product exists only when smaller groups have a clear vision. And when you talk about old games, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Because even Nintendo, who created some of the greatest old games, was a much smaller company back then.
Yeah. I think actually a good example of what you're talking about is Dead Space.
Yeah.
Because Dead Space went through an interesting arc. The first one was very well received. People really liked that game. So EA saw that and said, we're going to put a lot of money so you can make Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2, phenomenal game, but it did not profit as much as they wanted because they wanted Dead Space to become Marvel Comics.
Right.
I don't know if you remember this, but they made like a whole comic series. They made phone games. They wanted it to be huge,
Yep.
which is fucking stupid for a horror game.
Yeah. I would say I don't want to use the word niche, but there is a specific experience that Dead Space gives that other horror games don't.
Yeah.
And that is niche. You either like it or you don't.
Gaming, I think at the time was more niche than it is now. It was a niche section. Horror is a more niche portion of that. People are very happy to watch horror walkthroughs. Very few people are willing to actually play those games. And most of those people are probably streamers these days. Let's be honest. And because Dead Space 2 was also a very successful product, it did very well and it was a very good game. People loved the game. I hate when people say this was like an underrated game because that's often not true. It was well rated. It just didn't reach as wide as an audience as EA wanted.
Right.
Because they wanted Call of Duty money. So the third game came around and they turned it more into an action game.
I remember this because I had friends who were big into Dead Space and they were big into hating that.
They turned it into an action game. You had I guess
co-op.
the co-op wasn't bad.
I think co-op is a good thing. I think we need to bring back more two-player co-op.
Yeah, but I think it was mostly because they just wanted to ham in multiplayer that people didn't like, and there was microtransactions and all this stuff. The EA playbook went into it, so that they kind of ruined a good product and ruined a good fan base. Because
you're not going to get those fans, but they're not going to trust you anymore. Here's the thing about trust, especially customer trust. It's a lot of effort to earn it, and it's really easy to lose it. And if you lose it, it's almost impossible to get back. You have to work real hard. And I'll be honest, I mean, when we talk about that, I won't go deep into it. But I mean, everybody knows the story of No Man's Sky, right? And the only reason that they gained back so much trust is because it's two things. I'll tell you. One, it's the effort they put in. It was a lot of effort to regain that trust. And they've continuously proven themselves to regain that trust. Over and over and over. The other reason is just Internet Historian. Just kind of saved them. By telling their story, he revealed why they should. Because it's like they had done everything to earn it, but nobody knew it. So him telling that story allowed people to know why they should give them back their trust.
The best advertising is a good story.
Always.
And a lot of modern advertisement kind of doesn't understand this.
No.
It feels like it's the trailer guy says, not these, what does he say? He says, in theaters only, the most horrifying experience you've ever had. And then it's the paranormal activities, like people screaming at like tissue being thrown about by like some wire, like
Yeah, I think that you're right that stories. Well, that's actually, I think why we've talked about Kenshi. We were talking about Kenshi before we recorded. I would say the number one thing that made Kenshi popular was people on image boards and YouTube and Reddit telling the story of their own playthrough. People play the game, something happens, they tell the story. People go, "Whoa, that story's crazy!" They want to experience their own story, and so like I made a Kenshi video over on my other channel, and it's like one of my best performing videos. And it's like, why? Well, I told a story. I just told the story of the first time I played Kenshi. And people, even now, 7 years after the release of the game, are still interested in the stories that people as individuals experience in these games. And you see that with a lot of games like RimWorld and stuff like that. The story of what someone experienced is a big part of what sells that game to other people.
And it's also what sells people on a lot of YouTube creators. Because what not a lot of people understand is when people see is like, oh, I want to see so-and-so creator go through this because they like the story that's created in that environment. It might be like
that person's personality, the way they react to stuff.
Yeah, I like the story told there. It's entertainment in like multiple different facets.
Yeah, well, and this goes back into what you're saying about older games. Like I get the point about Dead Space, right? Like I mean, if you have a conclusion there, you can make it. But I think I understand that your point that you're making is that these new games, they always end up losing their soul. It's that thing that we were talking about of the it becomes too big. And older games are smaller.
Yeah.
Older games are made by smaller teams with less bloat, less marketization, less corporatization. And I get what you mean. And not to sort of, we don't need to hound forever on this idea of what is wrong with modern games. I think anyone watching will probably be nodding and going, I do know what the problem is here.
Yeah.
The thing that it is for me is I feel similarly to you because recently I found that every day I do the same thing. I look at my Steam library. I go, I really want to play a game. I love video games. It's my favorite hobby. And then I go, nothing looks good. And I boot up Space Station 13, which I don't even really want to play, but I know that like I'll have a good enough time for 2 hours, And that's because I've played so many games that I want to play already, and new games are just they're the same thing. It's either some indie, it's the same shit over and over and over. It's a copy of some shitty Unity asset, or they've bought Unity assets and then modified them, simulator game or survival game, or it's some pixel art 2D Metroid shit, Metroidvania, Stardew ripoff, something like that, or it's some mainstream slop I don't give a fuck about, and nobody wants to nobody looks back at older games and go, why were these popular? What happened here? Why can't I do this again? You ever play Caves of Cud? It's not particularly old, but it's a very old style game.
I've seen it played. It's on my backlog. I need to play it. But
you know what? I looked. Our mutual friend, whose idea of a good game is made by some Russians in a garage.
Rope.
Well, our mutual friend. He was playing it, and I watched him play it, and I was like, "This looks like shit." So, Quad Laser shares his library with me, and he owned the game. So I was like, all right, I'm going to play it. So I played it, and I was like, oh, I just played for 4 hours. What happened? and everything about it is super old school, very janky, very weird, and it's incredibly addictive.
Because the problem is people forget graphics aren't everything.
Graphics are not everything.
It's the fun. The fun is in the mechanics.
Well, the fun is in the fun isn't just the mechanics, just the visuals. It's the way all of these things come together.
Yeah.
And if the visuals, here's what I found as I played Caves of Cud. The mechanics and the storytelling and the way the world was represented, the more you played it, the more that all of a sudden these really weird graphics started to feel very real and appropriate. You started to recognize what little symbols meant what little things were what, and the weirdness of it and the sort of old school, I don't know what that is, but it's like old dwarf fort, where it's mostly represented by symbols that already exist, right? It just started to blend, disappear, started to fade away as like my mind's eye
because
filled in the gaps.
not a lot of people are like this, but I find the same thing with books. I can take a book and I can make a whole world in my mind, and I can put faces to people. I have ideas for what people look like. I find often that I'm more disappointed when it's put to like a movie, because I have...
You know what that person looks like in your head, and now there's an actor and that does not look like them.
I could be satisfied, but it will never be good as the book in my head, because the book in my head was so good to me. It was personalized to my liking.
Right.
And like people will say, oh, like VR can make that. No, I really doubt, because I already have it. It's already
there. Yeah, it's already in my head.
Like, you don't need to generate something. Just write a good book and I'll be there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that is what I would say. I've been doing the same thing. I've been trying to look at, actually, I played a demo last night for this new Might and Magic game that's coming out. So there's an Olden Era. Here's a Might and Magic Olden Era. It's this demo, and it was fun enough. People complain about the graphics. I don't have an issue with the graphics. But my issue was I was looking at it and I was like, damn, my roster sure is limited compared to older games. Like the number of slots I have for monsters sure is lower. And I was like, as I played it, I was like, I kind of want to boot back up Might and Magic 3. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like it wasn't bad. It's just that I remembered, the older games, and those older games have plenty of problems. I actually remember I went it was actually a while ago, a number of months back, I played through all of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare games. So I did the originals all the way through, and then I did the new ones all the way through. And you know what the drastic difference is between the new ones and the old ones?
No, what is it?
The old ones really gave you this idea, this sense of like, well, besides the fact that they're impossible to like run because they're designed for consoles, and so on the PC they were like glitching out and stuff. But like there was like a level of drama and cinema that they were trying to create in the new ones. There was like someone sat down and watched because it's subtle. You'd think that they seem similar, but like when you're playing through Modern Warfare 1 and you're going through it, there's this sort of just natural feeling of like, even though it's still cinema, because this isn't how the military really works. Yeah. It feels like this is how the military really works. You feel like you're just Sergeant Roach, your Agent Soap. You know what I mean? You are just these people going through, and these are like real military operations. You are learning from these people. The later ones, they try to add more cutscenes, more drama, more interpersonal characterization. You have this whole dramatic scene where they're like, yeah, we're about to interrogate this guy, and in doing so, we're going to threaten to shoot his kid. Are you prepared for this? Because like this is to say this, like this guy has the secret to where a nuclear device is. We have to do something evil. Are you ready for that? And there's a whole drama around it. And I go, I didn't actually care about that.
Yeah.
I didn't actually care. You could have just dropped me into the next mission.
Yeah. One of my favorite missions is All Gillied Up.
Everybody loves All Gillied Up.
That, and like there's a Black Ops, like the escape from the prison. That was also very fun. I like those sequences. Those sequences are very fun, but
they tell a story without a cutscene or a movie.
Yeah, I'm sad Reznov is not escaping with me, but there wasn't a whole cutscene. I was just on the train and I made the jump, but he didn't.
Right. Or I now know all about McMillan. Yeah. I now know why what Captain Price went through and why he is the way he is. And I did so because I just played as Captain Price, learning from McMillan as they went to assassinate this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't need a cutscene with a dramatic explanation. And when I find out, I always remember when you're dealing with when you're chasing the one guy. I forgot his name. Zakhaev, I think. Imran Zakhaev. I can't remember exactly. You're chasing him and he's just like ranting about like why you're a loser and why America sucks. I don't need a cutscene where he tells it to me.
Yeah.
I don't need to hate him because he sucks in a movie. I know that he sucks because he said it while in a chase scene.
Yeah. Because this is a problem I've mentioned in a previous podcast. Modern games are trying to be movies, which is very, very weird. I won't go too into it, but they should remember why people like games. Games are the biggest media, like they get the most profit. Why go to movies? Movies are dying off, from my understanding. People aren't going to theaters.
Yeah, well, movies have their own issue. I mean, I think the pandemic really boosted video games and really like played down movies.
Yep.
The other problem is the movie theater, we talked about this in the past, movie theater experience is abysmal nowadays. Under quality, overpriced. The only thing that's nice about it is that it's a big screen. But you know what? I can pause the movie at my house. I can eat whatever I want at my house, and I can do it all for a quarter of the price.
I can go to the bathroom without missing anything.
Yeah, I can rewind. Like
If I didn't hear something, I could rewind. I was like, "What the fuck did you turn on closed caption? What the fuck did you say?"
yeah, what the fuck was it that you just said? I don't understand what's going on. But it's true.
And then the main character.
That's lit. I mean, I recognize that movie, the one where he goes, oh! Yeah, that's like, wow, thanks, man. That's
very important dialogue happened.
Dialogue, yeah. No, but I think that it's because the movie experience is, you movies take 1,000,000 years to make. They're not encapsulated stories. You're always going to get a trilogy, and you're going to be 12 when the first movie comes out and 22 when the third movie comes out. And you're going to. It's going to be overpriced, under quality. There's going to be crying baby, but then a video game, at minimum, you're going to get more hours out of it.
Yeah.
And it's interactive.
I can save.
You can come back later. You can pause it.
And depending on my hardware, I can make it as like nice as I want it. I can have better speakers. I could put on a better TV, a better monitor. I could make it as shitty looking as possible. But I can at least still play
You could
it.
do a demake for some reason. Decide to make it PS3 graphics and tell everyone, look, I made it shit. And everyone would be like, I can't wait to stream it. I love when it looks like shit.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, well, who doesn't? I mean, I'll never forget when someone was doing like the Bloodborne demake and everyone was like, look at this. And I was like, that definitely looks like PS1 graphics. And they're like, isn't it great? And I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. Would define great for me.
PS1 games didn't have the best action combat.
Or maybe it might have been PS2. I don't remember what it was. It was some demake, and the point was it looked like shit.
It looked like Silent Hill 1 graphics.
It was pretty bad. But, I mean, I guess it's a novelty.
Yeah.
But like the point is you're right that everybody wants to make a movie instead of a video game. And I think that it's interesting. If I were to ask people, what do you want out of a video game? If I talk to the majority of people I know and I talk about their favorite games, they will verbatim describe to me a game that is not a movie. But if I tell you that I think that Metal Gear Solid 4, Death Stranding, Call of Duty, if I say that these look like movies, then people get mad and they go, no, they're really good. And I go, this game that you hail as really good, that you love so much, you have described as being the exact opposite of what you truly enjoy out of video games. And though you have played this one a lot, you have played all these other games that are the complete opposite of it 1,000 times more. Why will you not admit that this is not what you truly want? There are aspects of this game that you think are good. You know what? Here's the thing. Let me give it to you this way. What do people love about Death Stranding? Really, they love the aesthetic, they like the music, and they like doing the deliveries. They're not really there for the action. They don't really care about the horror. They like being clumsy man climbs mountain, delivers package. That's what they really like.
And oftentimes they don't really like the story. I think Donkey likes playing the mechanics of the game. I know he doesn't like the story.
Yeah. Do you know what else is a really, really, really popular game?
Truck Simulator.
Truck Simulator. He knew. He read my fucking mind. Yes, exactly. All of the delivery truck simulator games. People love them. And what do? They put on a fucking cowboy hat. They put on some fucking music on the radio, and they drive a truck to deliver stuff.
And they might even make up fake stories. The people they talk to might not even have any dialogue. They might give them I don't even watch truck streams. I'm pretty sure you have you go to some Oklahoma place, some made up place. You'll have that guy named.
Yeah.
And he'll have a story. You'll make up a story. It's like, hey, how are the kids doing or some shit. It's like, oh, he's delivering late again.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing. You know, there's that game that's like Space Truck Simulator or whatever.
EVE
know?
Online?
Space Trucker. No, there's a game called Space Trucker.
There's just a space truck. Okay.
Yeah, and then there is EVE Online, where people have built entire characters who have made millions of dollars being delivery guys. There are in Star Citizen, there are entire YouTube channels where the person's sole goal is to make money buying goods here and selling them here using their space truck. I'm not kidding. So when you tell me that you love Death Stranding, I go, you don't. You love one aspect of it. And you ignore the movie that you don't really engage with. Because if I asked you what was the story and why do you love it, you would say, I don't know.
Kojima's stories are fucking ridiculous.
But lots of them are. I'm not even. Listen, I know I'm like anti-Kojima. I'm the anti-paladin of Kojima stands. But that is not what the goal of this is.
I know.
Because Call of Duty does this.
Yeah.
A lot of games
God
do
of
this.
War does it.
God of War does it. The new God of Wars, I can't stand them. I played through them and I wish I hadn't. It was a waste of my time.
It really was.
Did you know that I played that game on stream when it first came out and did not finish it? And then many years later played it again on stream. And I didn't even remember that I did this. Do you know what? The only reason I remembered that I did this? Because one of my mods made a clip both times. He wasn't my mod when he made the first clip. Both times of my exact reaction to a specific scene. And he showed them to me 6 years apart and said, you said the exact same reaction twice. Because I'd forgotten I had even played the game. I forgot. And it was really funny to see me have the exact same reaction twice. The only difference is I was fatter the second time.
I'd like to see you put more alpha on yourself. See if you could just overlay, and see what it looked like.
It was very funny, and you know that you're right. God of War, what made the first God of War games good is, and I don't mind the combat in the new God of War games, but it's too much cinema. It's too many cutscenes.
Another good series. Sony has really gone the cinematic path when I feel like they had it fine. They had it fine in Uncharted 2. Uncharted 3 was okay.
Some games it's okay to be a little bit cinematographic. I think of Halo because Halo is very epic. You know what I mean? And when I say epic, I really mean in the way the term epic was original, not the way gamers use the term epic, but the way that epic was originally used, like a Greek epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that the transition between missions, those cutscenes and how cinematographic they are is very important.
I think especially of the bombs scene where he
Trying to give the Covenant back their bomb. Yeah.
He does so many cool things, and that's why you love Master Chief.
Yeah, but you have to remember that it's always a setup for what you're about to do.
Yeah.
So you have a cutscene that's really cool, and then the game goes, cool. You saw how cool he just was? You're about to be that cool. Go do it.
And then it's da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then the epic music that followed. And it was for you. It was set up because you're the character. It was meant to make you feel awesome. It was, and like, don't get me wrong, the character is important, but it was also important to make it feel like I am about to do this very cool thing.
I think a lot of when Sergeant Johnson, back before he had a name, because did you know in the first Halo he didn't actually like that was not Sergeant Johnson.
I think he was supposed to die.
Well, he did die. The problem is that the black guy was just one of 3 or 4 models that sergeants could appear as, and he just was voice acted for that cutscene. But as people became invested in, like, as they tested the story with people really paid attention to that character. So then they gave him a name, and then in that scene where he died, people were so upset that he died that they brought him back. But he was never meant to be a main character, and in the first iteration didn't even have a name. Anyway, I always remember in the first mission, in the intro cutscene, where he goes, "All you greenhorns who wanted to see Covenant up close, this is your lucky day." Because you're about to see them up close as Master Chief.
It is a very cool moment.
It is a very cool
Even
moment.
with the like original Xbox graphics, it's still very cool to go through.
Yeah.
It's like, if you haven't done it, do it. Like, seriously, go through the game and play it. It's a good experience. Even with all the clunk that like old games may have had, it was worth it. There was a reason people loved the games. It's like you may think to yourself, it's like, oh, I can see why this and this like it's like made new in the newer games, but people still love the games.
Yeah, well, and it's because, cutscenes never overstayed their welcome. Dialogue was 90% in-game. It always felt, even like mid-mission cutscenes, I always think of the second mission when you're trying to turn on the light bridge. There's a short cutscene of you turning on the light bridge. It's not very long.
Yeah.
And it's just showing you that you did it.
Yeah. Oftentimes, cutscenes back in the day were just to show you that something occurred because you pressed a button.
Yep.
And that's honestly probably the best usage of a cutscene in a video game in the middle of your mission.
It's very strange. Bungie had a really strong understanding of when to let the player experience something in-game and when to show it to them in a cutscene. They had a strong understanding of the use of music, what music was good, of character design, of environmental design. And then they went and made Destiny and forgot 100% of what they had learned from 4 different games. And I'm wondering what happened there. Did half the staff just shoot themselves in the head? Like, what happened?
I remember being very excited about Destiny 1 because Bungie made it. Bungie, like the people who made 3 of the coolest fucking games. Well,
4.
all 4 or 5.
Because I love ODST, and I also love Reach.
I do love those 2 games as well. ODST and Reach were games I think worth visiting. I think they were kind of overshadowed because they didn't have Master Chief and they had a bit of a different tone. But yeah,
I think that to some degree that's true. I think that the big thing is that one of the big things Halo did well was co-op, and those games had great co-op. The thing that was really, I think that the thing about ODST was it was a departure from the epic.
Yeah.
It was more of a noir. It was a real sort of noir mystery.
Yeah.
And which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
And I remember, I used to do co-op Mondays with my friends. We all did ODST together and really had a good time. And they all thought it was really cool because all of them had never played through it. But it's very different.
Yeah.
The thing Reach did well is you could tell that they learned all those lessons about co-op and were like, okay, here's the things people like. Let's make sure that we don't save all of this for multiplayer. Let's just put it in the campaign. So all the funnest stuff was both in the campaign and the multiplayer.
And it was the last Halo game they ever made.
And it was the last Halo game to ever exist.
Yeah,
It's so sad. It's so sad they've never made another Halo game.
No, I think they ended on good terms. I think it was a high note they ended on. They were very wise to end it at Reach.
Every time you put up your hands, I'm reminded that you've been holding the same paper towel for like 30 minutes.
Listen, I dried my hands.
You did. You went to the bathroom, you dried your hand, you sat down, and you never put your paper towel away.
It's like, I'm not going to litter in my own room, okay?
Why? This place is a mess.
Okay. You're right. Fuck it.
But the point that I think you were making, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that it feels like over I don't know how many years, because time's kind of flying, but I feel like at least the past 4 or 5 years, I don't feel like many games that truly captured me and kept me and made me go, I'm going to return to that later, have really come to pass. I find myself returning to old things.
Yeah, and it's part of it. I think is a problem I've mentioned before. It's new teams coming to old projects. They're not really given the freedom that older teams are to try something new and make their own products. So they kind of make this weird Frankenstein's monster with this existing IP.
Or they make something new that is just a series of marketing points.
Because they don't have the talking power that older devs had. It's the business people who kind of take over, and because they're new and they just want to succeed, they have to listen.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's probably really true. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It's everything you just said. It's the fact that games are made by committee. They're made by, and they're not made by a committee of people who want to make games. They're made by a committee of people who want to make money. It's all whatever is like the survival battle royale, whatever they think is going to PvP.
And it's research to hell from the very beginning.
Right.
You can't make a new thing because we don't have any proof that that's really successful.
Yeah, everyone's risk averse, right? If I'm going to put millions of dollars into this, I'm not willing to risk it. But the best things were always made risky. Here's the actual truth. A lot of publishers made a lot of games that barely made money or lost money to make one that made up for all those losses. It used to be that a studio made a lot of mediocrity before they hit it big, but the big one usually made up for all the mediocrity, and that was just how it went. Now, you're not allowed to even screw up once.
And it's funny that you say that, because looking at a lot of old ROMs, I find a lot of weird, obscure games by Squaresoft.
Yep.
What does Square Enix do now? It feels like the same thing over and over.
Well, they don't do anything. They just survive off of Final Fantasy 14. They look at their law. They invest $1 billion into something that nobody wanted, release it to no reception, and then they go, good thing we're still milking Yoshi P over there. And he's like strapped to a wall. He's like, got suction cups on his nipples. He's like dying. He's like, and they're just like draining him of money. There's like money coming out of the tube into a pit, right? Like that's all they're doing. Every month they're waiting for their Final Fantasy 14 paycheck to keep their failing company afloat.
Yeah, it's weird how they kind of succeed off of like a one-off bet. It's like the original Final Fantasy is like they were about to go bankrupt, and now they're kind of on life support off of Final Fantasy still, but not doing anything new.
Well, they're on life support off of one Final Fantasy because they somehow completely forgot why people originally liked Final Fantasy. I feel like, we talked about this off screen. You said you'd like to make a turn-based RPG one day, or an RPG.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just forgotten that people like those. And they keep being successful, like fucking the Persona games are still popular. Yeah. They made fucking the Persona not Persona game, whatever it's called. I played it. Why can't I remember the name of it? No,
it's
Metaphor.
Yes,
there it is. Metaphor is a great game. I loved it. Mm-hmm. And then there's other games that are coming out that are turn-based, and they're doing the new Digimon game is turn-based. People are really liking that. It's like everyone just forgot that people actually like turn-based RPGs, and they've never stopped being popular. I don't even really like it that much, but Claire Obscure was incredibly popular, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is, I didn't even think I liked RPGs until I went back and it's like, you know what? A lot of these ROMs are RPGs, and people really like them. It is like I have Chrono Trigger in my Steam library for some reason. Mm-hmm. I think it was like $1 and I got it in like a bundle. I tried it. I was like, oh, I don't hate this. In fact, in some ways, I actually really like this.
I don't really need to be an action guy in an arena rapidly hitting buttons and comboing. Here's what I've discovered. Mm-hmm. I've discovered that the number of people who won't play a turn-based RPG is actually quite small. the number of people who obsess over everything having to be an action game is actually quite small. And the number of people who don't really want to play action games are most of, my friends like them, but like the new Final Fantasy VIIs.
I'm not interested
A
in
couple
playing
people I know were like, "Oh, this is great," and the majority I know go, "I never finished it. I kind of wish it was turn-based."
It tries to be an in-between thing, which is so weird. I like action games as well. I played through the Bayonetta 1. I really liked it. But
Well, that game, it from the beginning, you knew exactly what you were
I
getting
knew
into.
what I was getting.
And it leans into that. It's not trying to be a story-based RPG. It's Devil May Cry, but this bitch gets naked.
and they're very like upfront about that.
Yeah.
Platinum Games does it very well.
Now they just need to give me more naked Dante, and then it'll be even.
Yeah, I need to play through the Devil May Cry games, but yeah, I like that because I knew what I was getting at the beginning. Final Fantasy VII is just, it looks weird to me. I don't really know what I'm getting out of that because it has the turn-based mechanics, it has heals and all that stuff, but it has one thing that scares me. It's like, am I going to hit these fucking large meat shields for like minutes at a time?
Yeah, it's not particularly. I hate sponge gameplay. I hate when I have to just spend a bunch of time whittling on a health bar.
Yeah.
If you go back to Final Fantasy VII, even the bosses died quicker than you realized. I played the original Final Fantasy VII a while back, and I was like, these bosses were tough, but they actually died fairly quick. But that's because the reality is that they always died fairly quick. They were just a tough fight, but you didn't actually, the combat didn't last 30 minutes. You weren't in an arena for 15 minutes running in circles, dodging their attacks. You were just going through some menus, using your abilities, targeting their weak points, and then you won.
Yeah, that's kind of what made me realize I do like RPGs, because I thought the opposite was true. I thought I would be spending hours. And it's like I mentioned Koudelka earlier. Sometimes that does happen in that game. I think that's more of a design issue rather than an actual game issue. But the times when it's just, I thought, it's like I'm just playing through the mechanics of the game and I win relatively quickly.
Yeah,
I like that.
That was Metaphor. A lot of the combats didn't last very long. Here's the big thing about Metaphor. People said it was more casualized. I said, no, I think it's just more realistic. A lot of the times, the way the game worked is that you'd fight something. And I don't really like the pressure system for turns, but ignoring that, the idea was you'd do things and you would learn if something was a weakness or not. And any time there was a button you could press to rewind time back to the beginning of the combat without going through all the other, like the whole section again. But you would remember, the game would remember all of the details about the monster that you learned during that fight. Right? And so you'd remember its weaknesses, you'd remember its strengths, you'd know what what abilities do what to them, and it would actually show you the indicator instead of showing you the question marks.
That's actually really nice for the Persona games, because one thing I don't like is trying to remember what this one monster's weakness is again after like maybe a months or so of like leaving the game and coming back.
And it was a really cool feature. And so what would happen is you'd have a bit of a slog fight, realize you're going to lose, hit the rewind button. Now you remember all the details of the fight, and now you go through the fight fairly quickly.
Yeah. Right?
And I thought that was really cool. And then from then on, the fights with that particular kind of creature were much faster. You'd end the combat before even you could end it in a single round.
Yeah, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because you've learned how to beat the mechanic. So it's like it's now just a mini monster.
I did, however, mod the game to swap out the combat music from whatever that weird Gregorian chanting is to just being Persona 3 and 5 music.
Yeah, I remember that.
But which goes back to, man, music makes the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess Metaphor is a newer game, but I feel like, I beat it now. So now what? And there's nothing. Every day it's a new game. Let me ask you something. How do you feel about Steam Next Fest?
I don't think about at all.
Yeah, you know why? Because it feels like every week is Next Fest, and then every streamer I know is like, I'm doing a stream. I'm going to play 42 of the most mediocre looking games you've ever seen. And then the latest Next Fest came around. It's just like Vampire Survivor clones. I like Vampire Survivors, by the way. I just don't want to play 32 clones of it.
I don't. I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't,
I don't
care
know.
for it.
For $3, it was pretty addictive.
For $3, yes. It's just I'm not the type of person to get into that sort of thing.
Sure.
That I don't, like I said, I don't think it's a bad game. I think for the price you got a lot. A lot of people got quite a bit of value off that $3. I think it was worth it.
You want to know something interesting? I think about this a lot. I was thinking about this the other day about food, but I think it applies to video games more. Let me give you the explanation about food, right? So someone was talking to me about like really good meals, right? And like these really like high quality meals. And they were talking about like these amazing chefs that make these amazing meals. And I go, you know, I probably wouldn't enjoy that very much. And they go, why? And I say, well, even if this person is a masterful chef and this is the best version of this dish that's ever been made, I'm going to look at the bill after I've eaten it and gone, I didn't really get that much value out of it. It was a good meal and it was very, very satisfying. It was the best beef Wellington ever made. But I just don't think it was worth $60. And then they go, well, you don't eat it regularly. It's not about value. It's about an experience. And I was like, oh, go ahead. You clearly have clued in.
Part of the experience is the fact that you paid $60.
Right. That part of the experience is that I paid $60. There's a dish that I really like from this one Thai restaurant. It's a deep fried duck in a Penang sauce, Penang curry sauce. It is my favorite meal. When I first started eating it 20 years ago, when I was 15, it was like $20. Now it's $30. When I look at the bill, it's the most expensive thing on their menu. And I understand inflation and all that, but when I look at the bill, I think to myself,
Didn't feel it.
it doesn't feel like it was a $30 meal.
Yeah.
You know, it was good, but for $25, I can go to the Korean barbecue place and get all I can eat plus sides, you know, and that's a lot. That's a lot more food. It's quite delicious. So, you know, you can say something's an experience, but the experience is also how you feel from beginning to end. And if I'm loving it the whole time, but then I'm feeling the bill as I walk out, that is part of the experience.
Yeah.
And that's going to lessen the value of that item. So, but when I eat something that's really good, and then I go, and this was only $7.
Yeah,
That's when I'm like, whoa.
I'm going to go more often, and I really like you have a better time.
I remember it, and I'm left in a better mood. My opinion of the restaurant is just higher.
Yeah,
There was this thing that they used to sell at Outback Steakhouse. It was a sandwich. It was like it was I forgot what it was made of. It's, you know, beef, some sort of beef trimming type sandwich thing with cheese and stuff on a ciabatta. It was like $10, $11. Everything else on their menu is $25 to $30. And it tasted so good. I would go there and drink like 3 beers and eat that sandwich. So they'd get 3 alcohol sales from me plus the sandwich. They removed the sandwich from their menu, probably because it was so inexpensive. Well, now I just don't go there anymore because I'm not paying you $30 for a steak that I can make in my, you know, I can cook it in my sous vide and then reverse sear it at my own fucking house. I don't need you I can get twice the steak for half the price. You know, I don't need you to do that for me. But no, I wasn't going to make that sandwich at home. And I definitely wasn't going to give myself draft beer at home because draft beer tastes different than a can. This is a lot of explaining. But the point is that the value of something, how good it was as compared to what you paid, plays a huge role in how you walk away from it. And if you give me the best game ever made for $70 fucking dollars, I'm always going to remember that I paid $70.
Yeah.
If you give me the best game ever made for $30, I'm always going to remember that was probably the best game I've ever played, and it was like half the price of all the other games I've played.
good example of this I think is BattleBit.
Battle Block Theater?
Battle Block Theater, and now Battlefield 7. Battlefield 7 is like
Oh no, not Battle Block Theater. You're thinking of
like
the one that looked like Minecraft but was Battlefield.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun ass game, and it was only $20. But I got so much fun out of that with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
What is Battlefield 7? Let's be honest. It's Battlefield 6.
Yep.
It's Battlefield 5. It's Battlefield 4. I don't even know if it is actually Battlefield 7. I don't know.
None
what
of those games are even Battlefield because I'm going to be honest. After Battlefield 1, they stopped making Battlefield. They started making Bad Company and they started making all these games that were just Call of Duty. Because the truth is that Battlefield stopped being a massive war simulator after Battlefield 1. Then they just started making, because I don't know if you remember, there was like Battlefield 1942. Like you'd go into a lobby and there'd be 70 players. And
I wasn't a PC gamer that early, so
I love Battlefield 1942. I actually played Battlefield 1942 for the first time at a PC lounge.
Oh,
And everyone in the lounge would play against each other on a local server.
that sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And Battlefield 1, I played that. I loved it. And then every Battlefield game has become more like Call of Duty. And they try to still be that other thing, but they never are. It's not the same.
Yeah, and BattleBit, it's like I
don't remember what it was called.
you guys know what it is.
Everybody knows what it is. Yeah.
The Roblox Battlefield game, for what it costs me, I'll always have it in my library if I want to boot it up. I'll always like, hey guys, you want to get on BattleBit? It won't cost them $70 to play a game with me, because the best way to play Battlefield is in a squad, and the worst way to make squads is to sell people on a $70 game.
Yeah.
Or is it $80? I don't. It's expensive ass fucking game that you're probably only gonna play multiplayer.
Well, I think a good example is like if I want to hang out with my, like let's say my boyfriend, he's like I said, he's very like, he's the guy. It's Rope, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the person who likes very obscure games and
Yeah.
will play like one game like a million hours. If I look at a game and I'm like, I'd really like to try this game, and I'd like to try it with him, right? If it's a $60 game, he's going to be like, "Are you an idiot?" Right? But if I said it's a $10 game, even if we only ever play it once, he'll play it.
Yeah.
Right? So I can convince you, Michael, Rope, Brock, I can convince everyone to just give me a one-off night of trying it for $10 because they'll spend $10 to go out to lunch with me.
Yeah. And it's cheaper than a movie.
Right, it's cheaper than a movie. But if I were to ask you, ask him, ask Mike, ask you, ask Silver, if I were to ask you guys to try a $60 game with me, that's a big ask.
Yeah. For a game I might not even play.
We might
in
play
it.
once
Yeah.
for 4 hours. 4 hours for $10. Even if I don't like it, I'll go, hey, it was 4 hours. I got a night out of it.
Because here's the thing I don't think people realize when they say, it's like, but it has so many things in it. It has like so many mechanics. It has like, you can spend 1,000,000 hours collecting, like delivering messages from person to person.
Right.
Did you have fun?
Right.
Did you have fun those millions of hours doing all that shit?
Right.
Did that mechanic really improve the experience to make it that like $80-$100 burn less? It didn't make it feel less bad for me. It's like I did. It's like
whenever people say to me, yeah, but games are getting more expensive to make, I go, figure it out. That's not a me problem.
Yeah.
I am so tired of consumers making excuses for the seller. I don't give a shit. Here's the honest truth. I'm the consumer of a product.
Yeah.
Either the product is worth it to me or it's not. I don't give a fuck if you had to torture your balls for 72 hours to make this game.
maybe you're a fucking idiot and shouldn't have done that.
Maybe you shouldn't have done that, right? I don't care if you had to chop off your leg. I don't care what you did because it is not a me problem. You are presenting me with a product and I am deciding whether it is worth it or not. And if you try to sell me a product that is $70 that is not worth $70, I am not going to buy it. And if I do somehow end up with it and it sucks, I'm going to be pissed. And I don't care that you sacrificed your firstborn to make it. You shouldn't have done that, idiot.
You made a thing, and I am not obliged to like it.
Yeah.
This is
Or be okay with its price point.
yeah, because if you're passionate about something, you want the other person to like it. They don't have to like it. This is a rule I feel like a lot of people forget, especially nowadays when like Twitter kind of like justify a lot of people who will never play your game. So it's like, you go, guy. It's like, make your game and sell it for however many you think it is. But at the end of the day, you have a thing that you really love. You want it to be very good. You need to fucking listen. It's like,
Yeah, you need to fucking listen, and you need to understand that, it just goes back to the lesson I tell everyone. Everything you do has consequences, and you should always ask yourself, is this the result I wanted? What is the result I want? And we know for a fact, Silk Song just came out for $20 fucking dollars. No Man's Sky has been doing free updates for a gorillion years now.
I don't even remember when it came out.
I don't even remember when it came out. It just still exists.
2016, I think.
2016. That's insane.
People are probably in high school since that like came out. Like,
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, we already know as a matter of fact. Your situation may be different because you're bad at business or your company is over bloated or
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing. But the fact of the matter is that we know because it's proven, it is a matter of reality that you can make a superior product at a lower price and that will work. We know that.
yeah.
So if you don't do it, you have made an active decision to give me an overpriced product at a lower quality and your name is Nintendo and I don't like you anymore.
And it's like, I hate it when developers get mad when one of these products do come out. It's like, don't expect all of us to do this. Why the fuck? Why are you?
People were so mad at me because the Owlcat Games developer, made a comment about how like their fucking Rogue Trader game, wasn't going to be as good as Baldur's Gate. And I remember I said, I just don't really care. And everyone was like, well, you have to understand they had a smaller budget. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, Larian isn't really that big. Oh, they've got like 200 or 500 people. And I go,
Yeah, but they also work their way up to it.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't like their previous games too much. I didn't
The
like
Divinity games?
Yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan of those.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact of the matter is it's like, listen, it's just not my problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm here to play video games, I mean, you'll get a lot of points from me. Lo-Fi Games, Ken Chi's developer, is a dude and his sister. He taught himself everything from the ground up to be able to make
Yeah.
Kenshi, and his sister did the writing, right? She did like 90% of the world's writing. And good for them. Took them, I don't remember, it took them like 5 or 7 years to make the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's going to buy some loyalty from me because it's like, wow, you're like a single guy. You made all this stuff. Like, that's really impressive, But at the end of the day, if he told me, well, I spent 7 years making it, so I think I should get $70, I'd go, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I'm going to buy that. I don't feel like it. I'll wait till it's on sale or till it's been out for 7 years and then I'll buy it for 30.
Because I understand that you spend your entire life doing it, but maybe you shouldn't have done that. It's like, maybe you should have done it in your free time. It's like, I'm not saying you shouldn't follow your passion, but you should also figure out how to make it work.
Which, by the way, that's not the case. I used Lo-Fi Games as an example. They are humble. They're very friendly.
Like, Lo-Fi Games made a good product at a decent price.
Yeah. A game that I've gotten hundreds of hours out of.
Yeah.
Right? There's something, and hundreds of good hours, because I will admit some games you can play for 60 hours, but it did not feel like 60 hours of fun.
It was 60 hours of like, when is this?
It's a lot of grinding, going on too long, very slow. I mean, but you look at the new Pokemon games.
I don't look at any Pokemon games.
I only do because our editor is a cuckold. I'm talking about you, Brock.
I feel like
the cuckold
all Pokemon
who still
players
allows
are-
Pokemon games to be in his mind. Even if he doesn't buy them, he allows them to live in rent-free in his head. So every time they come out and they're a piece of shit, he shows me how much of a piece of shit they are. And I go, why do you even care anymore? Give it up. Stop talking. Nintendo is dead.
I feel bad for saying this too, but Zipper does a similar thing with League of Legends.
It's great to call him out because he's going to watch this. He's like
It's
one
like-
of our 2 viewers.
I was like, I'm sorry, Zipper, but you do have a problem. It's like, you should being over League of Legends means no longer consuming League of Legends content.
He doesn't just still consume it; he still plays it. He quits the game, then re-downloads it. Yeah, we're totally talking shit about you at the end of this video. Like, I don't know. It's your reward for getting to the end.
Yeah.
Foolish.
It's like, it's your fault for watching. Fuck you.
No, it's true though. It's there's a point at which what you're receiving is not worth the cost, and these companies have just lost. They've lost what makes the thing good, but because there's enough people that still consume it, they keep thinking it's still a good idea. You know, there are enough people who will buy a piece of shit Pokemon game, so Nintendo will keep making a piece of shit Pokemon game because making a good Pokemon game costs more, and they don't want to do that.
And my solution to it is to just look elsewhere for my entertainment. Because obviously,
That's a lot less violent than my solution was, so we'll go with that.
it's like, well, what's your plan? Well, you know what? Tell me after.
I'll tell you when we're not recording. Off camera,
Off
yeah.
camera. But I'm looking.
There's a reason that shipment arrived to your house.
Okay. But I was like, I don't. It's like when I see EA, Ubisoft, or whatever, I stop caring about the game. I'm gonna look somewhere else. I'm looking at older games to get my fun.
I like when I don't recognize the name of the publisher.
Yeah.
That's when I know it's probably going to be good.
Well, weird situation we're in.
A weird situation. Well, I feel like I've said everything I need to say. Is there anything else that you feel about this? It's your subject. Is there anything else about this subject?
Yeah, it is all about me.
It is all about you right
But-
now. Yeah.
No, not really. I think we've covered the topic. and you know, we haven't gone off topic too many times.
I think we most of our off topic was just things that set the stage for the topic. I think we actually stayed pretty consistent the way through. I mean, we could be wrong, Michael. You were watching, but I
Wait,
I don't think
we're-
we talked about anything that wasn't directly related. Even the food comment was directly related.
Yeah. Crazy.
Why are you involving me? I'm in the cup chair.
Well, you've been watching very intently, dick in hand, so I'm just trying to understand.
Staying on topic. It sucked.
Oh. Well, I'm going to kill that guy once the camera's turned off. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.